Two men, two philosophies, one question. Which one survives the modern world? In one corner, Niccolò Machiavelli, the master of power, the architect of ruthlessness, the man who told princes that it's better to be feared than loved, that the ends justify the means, that morality is a luxury for those who can afford it. In the other corner, Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, the voice of virtue, the man who wrote that the universe is ordered by reason, that inner peace matters more than external victory, that character is the only true wealth. For centuries, these philosophies have competed for the soul of ambitious men, and in 2026, that competition is more relevant than ever, because the world you're navigating is brutal, competitive, unforgiving, and you need to know which philosophy will help you win, not in theory, in practice. By the end of this video, you will understand both philosophies at their core. You will see where each succeeds and where each fails, and you will discover which one serves you in the reality you're actually living, not the world you wish existed, the world that does exist. If you're ready for the truth, keep watching. If you want comfort, close this video. Let's begin. First, let's understand what each philosophy actually says, not the caricature, the reality. Machiavelli's philosophy: power is the only truth. Machiavelli wrote The Prince in 1513, not as philosophy, as instruction manual for rulers, for people who need to gain power, keep power, and expand power. His core principles are simple. Morality is contextual. What's good is what works. What's evil is what fails. There are no universal ethics, only situational strategies. Appearance matters more than reality. It doesn't matter if you're good. It matters if people think you're good. Perception is reality. Control perception. Control outcomes. Fear is more reliable than love. Love is fickle. People love you until they don't, but fear is constant. Fear keeps people in line when affection fades. The ends justify the means. If your goal is legitimate, any method to achieve it is acceptable. Cruelty, deception, betrayal, all tools in the toolkit. Adapt or die. The leader who clings to virtue when the situation demands ruthlessness will be destroyed by those who don't. Flexibility is survival. This is not evil. This is pragmatism. Machiavelli looked at history and saw a simple pattern. Virtuous leaders who refused to adapt were destroyed. Ruthless leaders who did what was necessary, so he codified the rules of survival. Now, Marcus Aurelius's philosophy. Virtue is the only truth. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor, but also a Stoic philosopher. He wrote meditations, not for publication, but for himself, as reminders of how to live. His core principles are different. Control what you can control. You can't control events. You can't control other people. You can only control your response. Focus there. Virtue is its own reward. Act rightly, not because it benefits you, but because it's right. Character is the goal, not outcome. Accept what happens. The universe unfolds as it must. Resistance creates suffering. Acceptance creates peace. All things are impermanent. Power fades. Wealth disappears. Life ends. The only thing that endures how you lived. Reason over emotion. Don't be ruled by anger, fear, or desire. Let reason guide every decision. This is not weakness. This is discipline. Marcus Aurelius believed that external success means nothing if you lose yourself to achieve it, that a life of virtue lived in poverty is superior to a life of vice lived in luxury, that your character is the only thing you truly own. Now the question, which philosophy wins in 2026? Let's test them. Round 1. Career advancement. You're in a corporate environment. There's a promotion available. You and a colleague are competing for it. The Machiavellian approach. Study your competitor. Find their weaknesses. Subtly undermine them in front of decision makers. Form alliances with people who influence the outcome. Take credit for collaborative work. Position yourself as indispensable. Make the decision maker believe promoting anyone else is risky, and do it all while maintaining a friendly exterior. The Stoic approach. Focus on your own work. deliver excellent results. Act with integrity, don't play politics, trust that merit will be recognized. Accept the outcome either way. Your character is not determined by whether you get the promotion. So which approach wins? In most organizations, Machiavelli wins. Not always, but most of the time. Because promotions are political decisions disguised as merit-based ones, and politics reward those who understand power, not those who focus on virtue. The Stoic might be more skilled, but the Machiavellian gets promoted because the Machiavellian understands that perception matters more than performance. Research on organizational behavior confirms this. Individuals who engage in strategic self-promotion and alliance building advance faster than those who focus solely on work quality. Round 1 goes to Machiavelli. Round 2, building wealth. You're starting a business. You need to make money fast. The Machiavellian approach: find what people want and give it to them, regardless of whether it's good for them. Market aggressively. Use psychological manipulation. Over-promise to close deals. Cut corners where customers won't notice. Exploit loopholes. Prioritize growth over ethics. Raise prices as high as the market will bear. And don't feel guilty about any of it. Business is war, and in war, you do what's necessary to win. The Stoic approach: build something of genuine value, price it fairly, treat customers with respect, operate with complete transparency, don't manipulate or deceive, accept that growth may be slower, but your integrity remains intact, and long-term, that integrity will attract the right customers. So which approach builds wealth faster? Machiavelli wins in the short term. Manipulation, aggressive marketing, and corner-cutting generate revenue quickly. But Stoicism wins in the long term, because businesses built on manipulation eventually collapse. Customers realize they've been deceived. Reputations get destroyed. Legal problems emerge. But businesses built on value compound. They create loyal customers. They generate referrals. They build brands that last decades. Research on business longevity shows that ethical companies outlive aggressive competitors by an average of 40 years. Round 2 is split. Machiavelli for speed, Stoicism for sustainability. Round 3, handling betrayal. Someone you trusted betrays you. They take credit for your work. They spread lies about you. They sabotage your reputation. The Machiavellian approach: retaliate strategically. Gather evidence of their wrongdoing. Expose them publicly. Form alliances with their enemies. Destroy their reputation before they destroy yours. Make them an example so others don't try the same. And do it cold, without emotion, just calculated destruction. The Stoic approach: recognize that their betrayal reveals their character, not yours. Don't retaliate. Focus on your own path. Let their actions speak for themselves. Trust that the universe will correct the imbalance, and use the experience to become wiser about who you trust. So which approach protects you better? This is where it gets complicated. Machiavelli protects your position. Stoicism protects your peace. If you're in a competitive environment where reputation determines survival, Machiavelli wins, because letting betrayal go unpunished signals weakness, and weakness invites more attacks. But if you're in a position where internal peace matters more than external victory, Stoicism wins, because revenge is exhausting. It consumes energy you could use building, and often it damages you more than it damages them. Research on revenge shows that while it provides short-term satisfaction, it extends the psychological impact of the original offense. Round 3 is context-dependent. Machiavelli for competitive environments, Stoicism for personal peace. Round 4, dealing with impossible odds. You're facing a situation you can't win. The resources are against you. The timing is wrong. The odds are impossible. The Machiavellian approach: don't accept impossible. Find leverage others don't see. Use deception to level the playing field. Make deals with unlikely allies. Break rules that others follow. Sacrifice whatever is necessary, and fight until you win or die trying, because accepting defeat is death. The Stoic approach: accept that some things cannot be changed. Recognize what's in your control and what isn't. Do your best with what you have, but don't torture yourself over outcomes you can't influence. Find peace in knowing you acted with virtue, even if you lose. So, which philosophy wins? Machiavelli creates miracles, the impossible victories, the comebacks no one expected, because he refuses to accept limits. But Machiavelli also creates catastrophic failures, because sometimes impossible is actually impossible, and refusing to accept that destroys you. Stoicism prevents catastrophic failure. It keeps you sane when you can't win. It protects your mental health. But Stoicism also prevents miraculous victories, because sometimes the only way to win is to refuse to accept that you can't. Research on resilience shows that both approaches have merit depending on the situation. Round 4 is a tie. Machiavelli for fighting impossible odds. Stoicism for accepting unchangeable reality. Round 5, long-term fulfillment. You're successful. You've won. You have money, power, status. Now what? The Machiavellian approach. Accumulate more. Power is never secure. The moment you stop expanding, you start dying. So keep fighting, keep acquiring, keep dominating, until you can't anymore. The Stoic approach. Recognize that external success is temporary. Find fulfillment in virtue, in relationships, in wisdom, in contributing to something beyond yourself. Use your success to live according to your values, not to accumulate more for its own sake. So, which philosophy creates lasting fulfillment? Stoicism wins unambiguously, because Machiavelli has no end game. There's no moment where you've accumulated enough power, no moment where you can stop fighting. You're on a treadmill that never stops. And when you finally do stop, either by choice or by death, what was it all for? Stoicism offers an answer to that question. Live virtuously, serve something larger than yourself, die knowing you lived according to principles. That's fulfillment. Research on life satisfaction shows that intrinsic values predict happiness far more than extrinsic achievements. Round 5 goes to Stoicism. So what's the verdict? Which philosophy wins? Here's the truth neither man will tell you. You need both, not one or the other. Both. Here's why. Pure Machiavellianism leads to external success and internal emptiness. You win everything and feel nothing. You dominate the world and lose yourself. You accumulate power and realize power means nothing. Pure Stoicism leads to internal peace and external vulnerability. You feel fulfilled, but you're easily exploited. You live virtuously, but you're passed over for opportunities. You maintain your character, but you don't impact the world the way you could. The answer is integration. Use Machiavelli externally in the competitive world, in business, in negotiations, in power dynamics. Be ruthless where ruthlessness is required. Be strategic where strategy matters. Be willing to do what's necessary to win. But use Stoicism internally for your values, for your relationships, for your inner life. Don't let the external gain corrupt your internal compass. Don't sacrifice who you are for what you can get. Don't lose yourself in the pursuit of power. This is the integration. The Machiavellian Stoic, ruthless in action, virtuous in character, strategic in pursuit, philosophical in acceptance, willing to do what's necessary, but never losing sight of what matters. Marcus Aurelius himself understood this. He was a Stoic philosopher, but he was also a Roman emperor. He led armies, he made brutal decisions, he executed threats to the empire, but he did it all while maintaining his philosophical principles. He used Machiavellian tactics, but with Stoic intentions. That's the model. Not Machiavelli or Marcus Aurelius. Machiavelli and Marcus Aurelius. Here's your framework for 2026. In competitive environments, think like Machiavelli. Understand power dynamics. Use strategic deception when necessary. Build alliances. Eliminate threats. Do what's required to win. In personal life, think like Marcus Aurelius. Live according to your values. Treat people with respect. Focus on what you can control. Accept what you can control. Accept what you cannot. Find peace in virtue. When making strategic decisions, ask Machiavelli, what's the most effective path to my goal? What leverage can I create? What would a ruthless competitor do? When evaluating your character, ask Marcus Aurelius, am I living according to my principles? Am I becoming the person I want to be? Will I be proud of this decision in 10 years? This integration is not hypocrisy. It's the sophistication. It's recognizing that life requires different approaches in different domains, and that wisdom is knowing which approach to use when. The man who is only Machiavellian becomes a monster. The man who is only Stoic becomes a victim. But the man who integrates both becomes unstoppable, ruthless when necessary, virtuous when possible, strategic in pursuit, philosophical in acceptance. That's the philosophy that wins in 2026. Not Machiavelli, not Marcus Aurelius, both integrated, weaponized. If this changed how you see these philosophies, understand something. There's a deeper level to this: how to integrate opposing philosophies without contradiction, how to be ruthless without losing your soul, how to be virtuous without becoming weak. That knowledge exists, but it's not public. It's behind the join button. Subscribe to this channel if you want more philosophy, but click join if you want the integration framework. Most people will pick a side, Machiavelli or Marcus Aurelius, and they'll lose half of what they need to win. But you're different. Now go. Be ruthless externally, be virtuous internally, and become the integrated warrior philosopher the world needs. Because 2026 doesn't reward pure philosophers, and it doesn't reward pure Machiavellians. It rewards those who understand both and know when to use each. That's you.